And greetings, ladies and gentle Go players. It's another wonderful whatever day it happens to be when this video hits YouTube. As you can see, though, I'm on the floor. Well, you can't actually see that, but take my word for it. I am on the floor going over a game on my real board. It has been a very, very long time since I've last done that, and I know that given how much dust I had to wipe off of both the stand for this camera spot and and the board. Yeah, there was a lot of dust. There was a lot of dust. Either way, going over a game right now, which I think everyone, yes, everyone, including you, yeah, you over there, watching this over here, yeah, you can follow this. I know you can. It is a pro game between a professional 9-dan, as you can see over yonder, and a professional 2-dan, as you can see over yonder. Black and white. Now, I love ranked disparity games because if you are going to essentially find a principle on full display and why that principle matters in Go, you're going to see it best displayed and easy to follow in a game between two players that have a rank disparity between them. And here, we got it. Oh, yes, indeedly do, we got it. So I hope you enjoy this. Oh, also, Byung-Sang-gil is also a god. So there's also that. Yeah. In case you didn't know, he's like a Korean 9-dan. He's like really, really good. But game starts off like games often do. In the upper right-hand corner, white, even though they are a professional 2-dan, invites anything and everything. That's right. Anything and everything. All the things. Invites a diagonal, if black is so inclined. White doesn't care, he will do whatever. So right away, the first fight in the game has actually already begun. Because white said, by not opening this way, white is saying specifically, I dare you to diagonal. You can do it. I don't care. I'm going to win anyway. Doesn't matter how you open. I got you. Now, you don't have to call your opponent's bluff when that happens. Most of the time, a player actually doesn't. Most games do open on one side and the other, despite all the time we generally see white inviting it. So it's interesting to take note of the times when black says, no, you want me to do this? Okay, let's see what happens. That's why I emphasize that. Every move in this wonderful game tells a story, even if you don't know the story that you're telling. Sometimes the story that you're telling is, I don't know what I'm doing in this game. I would like help, please. Someone send an adult. And we've got a nice enclosure. All right. All right. Standard enclosure right now. The other enclosures are still fine. This is just the current fad. White approaches the only open corner of black's, obviously. And black says that is okay. I am going to diagonal back. We are going to diagonal alley. This is pretty, it's a pretty fun opening. It's it's solid without making too many decisions, if that makes sense. Because if you pincer, for example, you're picking a very specific pincer. Like you're picking a tight pincer because you want more pressure over here for some reason. If you pick a wider pincer, it's because, ooh, you don't want as much pressure being applied to the one stone, And it's more about like getting a position on top of the board or influence for some reason, right? We're making active decisions. The diagonal, it's like, look, it's been a busy week. I'm tired. You do you, and I'll just figure it out from there. Because from here, we could follow up with a kick, and now it's a territorial opening. We could follow it up with a lean, now it's an influential opening. We can follow it up with a pincer, and now it's an aggressive opening. Like, so you can see how it can kind of do all of these various different things, right? Let's see. White backs off, getting a base. Cool. Now, I apologize for this next move, but it's meta. I mean, dude, it's meta. What do you want from me? Finding a game where this doesn't occur is extraordinarily difficult. So, y'all know it's coming. Y'all know it's coming, chat. Just say it. What's the next move? Everyone gets it right. Tengen. Okay. I lied. Darth Mucus doesn't get it right. Yeah, the 3-3. Now, it is imperative to know that is not the only move playable on this board, or any board for that matter. If you want to approach, you can. If you want to just get an extension, you can. If you want to approach, you can. And you can check it. You can check it with the AI. Everything that I just said is a green move. You can do all of those things. It's just that usually, when thousands of dollars are on the line, which isn't often the case with pro games, rather than play like a green move, a lot of times they try to play like the very, very top green move, because some of them don't feel like they have room to just... Okay, I kind of want to say they don't think they have room to like have fun or experiment, because that could cost a little bit, you know? So here we go. Counterintuitive, and I still don't like it. I would teach, and I will constantly teach, to block towards your stone, and then get a wall here. It's still a fine move to play. It honestly is still a fine move to play. But then you go towards, well, what's the best of the best moves? Though it's imperative to recognize the difference between, like, the best and the next best move is often, like, 0.1, 0.2 points, statistically meaningless in all of our games. So always, always, always play, first and foremost, whatever you have fun with. That said, here we go. And I really believe here that a lot of the trouble that White has for this game is trying to play the new accepted theory. Because back in the day, we would never have blocked this way. So what do I mean by that exactly? Well, we see the small knight. And we see the standard push into Hane, right? Standard push into Hane. So, where are we going from here? Well, you could play away now or something, right? But you know what happens next, don't you? Black would Atari and then drop down, and then these two stones are looking weird because they're trying to build, but they can't build because Black hasn't been surrounded. So if Black's already out, these can't do the things that it wants to do. And so the board just looks fundamentally off for White, right? So he doesn't do that. Instead, he's going to Hane. Going to block. And cut. A very interesting decision indeed. Now, there's many ways to play this one. Black plays the simplest, which admittedly is one of the reasons why I picked this game, as a game everyone can follow. Because if you went into like one of the stupidly complicated variations and you could start losing some DDKs or something, I think this one's going to be easy to follow. White cut, so black took the stone. Really easy to follow. White is surrounding because he wants these high stones to have meaning. He wants these high stones to have value. So he's kind of forced into doing this. Again, this is a direct result of the way he blocked. Okay, continuing on. Top. And then we're going to connect after the take. Now, I still believe in you, chat. I believe in my heart of heart you can find the next move as well. If not the exact move, you can probably find the idea behind the next move. We have one person suggesting the 3-3. Okay, interesting choice. 017. That's the approach. Okay, okay. C10, interesting. Off with the 3-3 suggester's head. I totally agree, musical universe factory. I totally agree. No, instead we ask ourselves a very simple question. What did white get here? White got a wall. So just like you suggested with C10, similar idea. Similar idea. But he's going to play it high and not low. That's all. You do have to kind of sort of worry a little bit, a teensy weensy bit anytime you go low. Maybe your opponent can like go high later on and cap you. Maybe your opponent can shoulder hit to like still keep building. There's still options, however small, that maybe you're kept low, and then maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines of territory, can still be obtained from your opponent. This one says, okay, if you're shoulder hitting me, you're shoulder hitting a 4th line stone. If you're capping, then now you're on the 6th line. So it's just going to be harder for you, Going low isn't bad, but you can see why he went high. So once again, I still think 9-don pro game, and I don't think we've lost anybody yet. If at any point someone's lost, do go ahead and speak out. There are no stupid questions, only stupid people is what I like to say. All right, carrying on. Carrying on. White's next move has to be a doozy. Has to be a doozy. Because we have corner, not territory yet, because this is 4th line, 4th line, 4th line, right? So it is still a little bit open. So we gotta do something. You could play a small move, but the expected response in today's meta to a small move like the enclosure would be expansion. So not really changing the dynamic, right? Oh, sorry. Could black have played closer to the wall? And why not extend to the bottom? So why not... So if we extend even one step closer, it's easier to, for example, envision that there are ways to cut off the stone. It gets worse the further you go. So could you? Yes. But influence wants to attack something, and if you don't have a solid connection, then you're probably going to get attacked. I'll do you one better. If this stone wasn't here, we probably wouldn't see something like this still. We would still probably see an enclosure. Just to make it difficult to expand from, and getting ready from a strong position, If our opponent does try to do something, maybe we can still attack it. Maybe we can reduce it lightly from above. Yada, yada, yada. So here, this is something that's hard to disconnect. So that's why we're not getting any closer. So there you go with that one. Anything wrong with K16 extension to go along with the enclosure? K16 extension. Oh, this guy? Yeah, this is fine. Sure. In fact, I would mostly teach you probably want to play something this far or this close at best if we're dealing with this wall. This move is an interesting one because a lot of times as a follow-up from the AI is literally that move for territory. So this is one of those interesting your move is my move variations, but it doesn't apply a lot of pressure onto the opponent. So it's a modern play. It's more of a modern play because of the AI's top suggest. So you can see someone really studies it. Really studies the AI because they're taking new directions. They're taking top picks from the opponent away from them. So we can really see how they study the game. Black's move, again, is very steady. We find it by asking ourselves, what don't we want white to do next? Some kind of surround we don't want white to do next. We can all agree. We can argue about the placement, but the idea, we don't want white to surround us, right? Generally speaking, that's what we don't want to have happen. So, out we go. Just like that, we're still able to follow no matter our rank. I love games like this because if you are trying to learn direction, if you're trying to learn fundamental, like underlying principles of the game, seeing games with very obvious responses to them is what's going to make it finally click for you. So in my opinion, games like this are priceless compared to like if they got into a fight in the upper left-hand part of the board and it sprawled for like 60 moves, you know? Then is there anything that's going to be easily learned from that? Maybe not so much, you know? Trying to make heavy, taking forcing move, okay. But there is a follow-up to Black's last move. What is the 9p and 2p? That is 9 down professional and 2 down professional. So does anybody know what Black's follow-up to that move was for his next one? It's very easy to know, and I'll give you a hint. We teach it to Q players, to DDQ players, in fact. Even a moron connects versus a peep? Yes, but even this had a follow-up. Even this had a follow-up, right? So we have a large knight on board, as being pointed out in chat. We have a large knight on board. So he's going to follow it up. Large knights can be cut. Theoretically, a DDK player has heard everything that Black is using so far in this game. So theoretically, a DDK could be playing against this 2-don professional right now. Could be. They're not. They're 9-don. But they could be. Why do we apply the cutting proverb before the connecting? Because this one came first. This is threatening to cut. This did not defend the cut. So out we go. Our move was a threat. The threat wasn't responded, so we're going to respond instead. So, sort of order of operations. Just have to remember, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Now, this is going to probably be. It's probably going to be the most. I want to say it's the most complicated move of the entire game. Because it seems a little bit counterintuitive here. And it's true, it is. It is very much counterintuitive. Because now that black has been clamped, he's actually going to drop down. That's weird. That's weird, right? Because anybody can look at this and be like, well, why are you double peeping? Why are you allowing this move here to exist? And that's a good question. In part, because it finally answers this. So that's great. And another because forcing moves are nothing to be sneezed at. White turns. And black gets a free move. Lovely, free move. So what are you going to do now? Well, and this is why I think it's a little bit complicated. Because we're not actually going to connect. Because there's still a potential connect over here, right? It feels like someone's getting scammed, and it's not black. We have to drop down, which means now we're getting to cut. Gonna go ahead and defend. Forcing moves again. Poke, poke, poke. Don't allow him to take it. Force to respond. And unlike on Fox, because we all know that push and cut still exists, he defends himself. Defends himself. Took the corner. Stabilized himself. We're all good. Nice strong position. Got ourselves out as well. So we're out. We secured our corner. Cost us 2 points. Or 2 stones. But if we did nothing, the 2 points, or the 2 stones, the equivalent of the 2 stones capture, would always be there anyway, right? This would always be whites if we did not go in. So there's 4 points here, and they were going to be there normal anyway. So we got a few more forcing moves on the outside at the cost of white having what they were already having. Now, white's next move is also important. Because if white's next move is something like this, that's incredibly weird. Because you can imagine something like, I don't know, here into here, right? And then white's still under attack later. Can't really counterattack black, but yeah, that is most definitely going to be an attack later. So what do we do? What do we do? Well, white says, I'm going to enclose. It's a big move. Pretty nice. I like it. Now here, if your sense of big moves is nice and solid, you know the next play. What's it going to be? If you know where big moves are, where is the next move going to be? K16? R11. Okay, what's R11? R11. Oh, pincer. Interesting. Pincering is going after, like, this area here to put pressure on this. It's a playable idea. It is absolutely a playable idea. But we have an enclosure and an enclosure, and they both want the same move right now. They both want the exact same one. So we take it away. Nice big extension for black. Nice denial from white. And this isn't really going to go anywhere. If white's next move is like something like this, they're probably going to lose the game. They're probably going to lose the game, because that's pretty small. Like, I mean, Jesus, I don't normally recommend moves like this, but even something like this starts getting a little on the big side, you know? So what is white gonna do? Well, white goes for the infamous big corner. And it's a big corner. It's a big corner. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's about 8 by 3 plus Comey, right? So it's about a 30-point corner. Because 8 by 3 plus 6. Or sorry, 8 by 3 plus 6. So it's a big corner. It's a big corner. Big, 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 big. Yes, black is invadable. If this wasn't invadable, the game would be over already. Because it'd be like, okay, well, that was cute. I'm just going to keep making points now. Because this is 10 lines of 5 already. So you can have your 30. I'll take my 50. I know who's winning this one. So he plays here. It's a 30-pointer. Sure, great. Unfortunately, it's Gote, and now, Mr. R11, I do believe you suggested it earlier, now that the big moves are on the board, now that those are gone, we can play here. Because if we played it immediately, right? If we played it immediately, and white gets to extend, and we follow up, even if we don't invade, like, you can get the impression that the board is absolutely a very, very different place to be, right? Like, this board position is very, very different from the other one. And the difference there is we're going to take the big moves first. Whoops. We're going to take Mr. Big Moves first. And then we're going to do mid-game fighting. There. Yep, no problem. So at this point, white's not happy. And I don't think white's been happy ever since the top side of the board. Literally. After that Joseki, I don't think white's been overly thrilled since then. So, okay. He has to attack. Because if we just defend and give this up, then we should just resign as well. Because we'll never win the game with all of that going to black. The potential being here. And we've got like 2 stones, couple points more here, and whatever we're left with there. It'd just be a very, very sad time. But here's an interesting thing. We know what black's going to do next. Black is going to not die with this 1 stone. But does anybody know the next move for not dying? Because you have choices. You have choices. I see 1, 2, 3, 5 different choices here. How do we arrive at the right one? How do we arrive at the right one, chat? I'll guess P11. Connect under. An interesting idea, however a dangerous one. This move is telling a tale. If we try to do any kind of underneath, we could do it. But once again, we've got like growing stuff, and yeah, it's kind of awkward. We're giving options away. So this would be just trying to live, just trying to connect up, just trying to be safe. Usually 9-down professionals are a teensy bit more aggressive than that. Does this game have blood? It might. Those of you who suggested let's play a very, very large move by connecting. This is already a strong corner. We can lean on the strong corner to get stronger. I would say this would also do you okay. Those of you who suggested the shoulder, I think that would be okay too. We're not doing this one because we know it'll just make the opponent stronger. Right now, there's no reason to do that. White's gonna Hane because he's strong in area. So there's no reason for him to back down. He will protect his corner. If we keep going under, or over, sorry, then black has to go under, and that's not a good time. So he's just doing the attach. Very, very simple sequence. White says, you can't do this. I'm going to kill you. Black says, you're on drugs because you actually can't do that. So now, we have a problem. These stones are desperately wanting to be used. How, we don't know, but they're wanting to be used. Trying to surround, trying something, get something done. And black is playing the simplest moves possible. All he wants to do right now, get a solid position. And then later, he can look at the small knights that his opponent is making, and then they will have a discussion about them. White says, I'm attacking. Black's like, oh, so you want a ladder, do you? Oh, well, interesting. Yeah, right now the ladder works for you. But you just gave me Aji to poke through your small knight. Row. Okay. Well, that's problematic now, isn't it? Because we can't respond to that, otherwise the ladder that we just played doesn't work. And we can't go up, otherwise we're literally walking him right through the small knight anyway. So you can see black's utter relaxed and simple play, just doing so much work against this Tudon who's trying to not play that way. So we have the simple Atari connection. The game is probably over at this point because you can see the outside is taking a beating and white has nothing to show for it yet. Pushes up. Okay, simple. No problem there. Gonna turn. Alright, he took a point. That's pretty big. To be fair, black's shape isn't the best. Black's shape isn't the best. Testing time. Everyone should get this next move right. It's impressive. Yeah, I love games this simple. Absolutely love games that are this simple. Because this is a professional level game. You know? L8, yeah, you're all getting it immediately. You're all getting it immediately. You threaten to surround the group that's not alive. Wait, that is L8, isn't it? I'm a little bit far. I think that's L8. I think that's L8. Why knight move here? Because the cut doesn't matter, and if you surround this, this is dead. So, like, right now, L8 is instantly threatening here. So the question for white is, how are you not going to let that kill you? How are you not going to let that kill you? And how am I going to get more stones? Hold up. Ran out of the pile. So yeah, good job, L8. Um, I have taught people that have preconceived ideas of what big moves are, regardless of the state of the board. So they might be like, oh, I want to play here to prevent like an extension, or I want to play here to like start shoring things up, or I even maybe want to even play here to make the invasion that we know is probably coming harder to play. And those aren't terrible ideas, but what's going to help you out going up the ranks, most importantly, is going to be able to identify a weak group. So if we're looking at those kind of things and it doesn't appear on our radar that this group is in trouble, then that's the most important thing to work on. Because if we can't recognize that for our opponents, we might not be able to recognize it from ourselves either. You know? So being able to find moves like this means our groups aren't going to die. And being able to find groups like things like this means maybe our opponents will. It also means we get free moves, and free moves are friggin' priceless, you know? And there's a proverb about it. You all know what it is. What's the proverb, chat? What's the proverb? You all know it. What's the proverb? What could that pesky proverb be? Never mess with a Sicilian when death is on the line. No, it's urgent before big. Because defending against like an invasion, securing an area, taking a big point away, those are big moves. But an urgent one is your opponent's not alive right now. So, white has to urgently not be stabbed to death. He's running with a small knight, though, because, I mean, what else was he going to do? This one? That doesn't get you out. Right? That doesn't get you out. So, he has to run with a small knight, too. And it turns out small knights can be cut. Like, it doesn't look like this 9-Dan is playing another professional, does it? It really, really doesn't. But he is a pro. Which means this little guy, this white guy, okay, that's not, I didn't mean to say it like that. No, hold up. Erase, edit, undo, delete before upload. This player is probably 9-Dan on Fox, right? If he was to start streaming on Twitch today, he'd probably be like the strongest, if not the, but one of the strongest Twitch streamers, you know? But simple play is strong, even at 9-Dan level. You can play a lot more complicated, but sometimes it's really great when you get to see games where it's like, yeah, you can, but, you know, you don't always have to. And to that end, you're all gonna love this next move. Because some of you were wondering about the push and the cut, right? This is once again amazing. He used the forcing move, but he's not interested in killing. If he can just go back and get something like this, that'd be fantastic, right? It'd be great. 10 out of 10 would play again. So he's defending, he's expanding. His opponent can go back and live. It's like a basics game. He's recording a basics game, chat. That's what he's doing. White's like, okay, I'm gonna try to put pressure on you or something. Responds, because, okay, why not? Got the Atari going in. Okay, cool. Not alive just yet. White says you can't has. Now, since White is breaking up his plans, and this move has gone ignored, the next move is obvious. We're gonna follow up. It's like, okay, I'm surrounded. I'm surrounding you now. Are you sure you're alive? White says, I'm sure I'm alive. Like, okay. Let's see how much I can get here in the middle. Which, let me, we all know it's going to be a lot. Right? We all know it's going to be a lot. Take the cutting point because it's a free move. White's going to connect because having that stone die would be tragic. And then we're going to connect nice and solidly, leaving White with a tough decision. Do we Atari and get Atari'd back? Do we extend and let Black extend and connect up? What do we even do? What do we even do? White's like, I can't let you have it. Black's like, okay. Then tell me how you're alive again. White says, I'm alive this way. Like, don't kill my corner. Back to Ko. At this point, we know that Black has won the game. Black's won the game. Because you can't fight both of these simultaneously. It's insane to even try. So what are we gonna do here? Well, I guess he's gonna give it his all. He's gonna give it his all. But now you can see that we're invested. We are invested. Man, being able to do this to a professional 2-down would be amazing. Alright, we're surrounded. We're surrounded. But we're going to use the same method to live. This stops the cut from occurring. White says I'm alive. Black says I am too. Because if he defends, then we can go back and cut. Now that we defended the cut, we can go ahead and exploit this. So now we can't, so we keep going back and living. Times Suji. Meaning he's reading out the Aji of this Hane. And whether or not it's something that his opponent can play, or if it's a bluff. So with one Byomi period, he reads out what's going on here. And I would never have seen this variation, because I do not read like a 9-down professional. So we have the Atari. And a lovely take. Now, doesn't this look frightening? Doesn't this look frightening? Oh my god, chat. Did we just lose all of our stones? Oh my god. Did Black just lose all their stones? Oh my god, I take it all back. He's a complete wuss. Dude, I take it all back. I take everything I said back. He can't read for beans. He sucks. Give this 2-down professional his rank. They can switch. Unless this doesn't work either. Ooh, now we're getting somewhere. Where does this go? We have an Atari. Into an Atari. Now we're going to connect. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Black says, I would like to live now. White says, okay then. Give me these stones and I'll let you live. Black says, very well. I am not an unreasonable lad. Offer of the trade is accepted. Who knows the problem here? The problem here is we're still playing a co for that group right now. This is already alive. The corner is up in flames. We could play this one. We could play this one. Then we're back to co. And we still have co threats. It's very, very, very awkward. But it's okay. White has an idea. No, it's fine. White stared at the board really, really hard for a minute. Then he looked up into the nearest camera, I don't know where it was, smiled and said, I have an idea, chat. We're going for more. This is where we might lose the DDKs, because this next sequence is really nice. But it's not inherently obvious. We can extend. Be honest, DDKs. How many of you actually see that? Because white can't block, can they? If white blocks, we Atari. If they connect, they're captured. Alright. Well, I mean, you're closer to like a... I mean, you're closer to 10Q, but I guess you still count as a DDK, sure. Sure, why not? Yeah, white thingy is low on liberties. True, true. Which also means, and this is the part that really hurts, after he plays here, he gets to connect here. That connection is probably one a lot of people would miss. You would probably reflexively connect here, but by connecting here, he's threatening to kill the entire group, right? Because if we just drop down, that would be a self-Atari to Atari the two stones. So that connection was Sente. So white's like, alright, I have to answer that. It is at this point that, yeah, if it wasn't clear by now, now it's abundantly clear white should probably be resigning. Because we're still in a co here, but, this group ain't looking healthy anymore. But it's okay. We're fully committed now, Tinky Winky. Back to cut. Like, you can see how complicated white is trying to make the game. Black's just been chilling. White's the one trying to make everything so complicated. Alright? Don't want to get, like, cut to pieces and stuff. That'd be awkward. So, sure. We'll just make sure that that doesn't happen. Go back to co. Hey, look at that. We've got some co threats. Make sure that we got more co threats there. Oh, yeah, we do. Oh, yeah, we do. Absolutely. White says kill. Black says no, you cannot kill. Or at least not this. Like, because if you connect this side, this kind of goes out and it gets kind of weird. And back to co. Just like so. Hey, look at that, more co threats. Ain't that something? White is never winning this co in a million years, man. White is never winning this thing in a million years. Atari. Go for it. Uki. Corner now. For white. Good job. Good job, sir. Good job. And this next move is not needed. But I like that Black's first thought was just about defense. What he winds up playing could have been played. Instead, he just defended himself. White expands. Unfortunately for him, he misunderstood who had Sente. He completely misunderstood who had Sente. And now White's dead. So this could have been played here instead. Didn't have to do it. But he's like, there's some Aji and there's some cutting points. So I'm going to defend myself. White said, great, I like that you're defending yourself. I would rather burn than do the same thing. To which Black replied, if that's what you want, I can be accommodating. White says, you can't kill me. Black says, read again. White says, you can't kill me. Black says, read again. Can't kill me. You sure about that? Positive. Well, you're wrong. Now, to be fair, this is a cute variation, and you can mess it up. White realizes he's dead and he resigns. But you can see how it can be easy to screw it up. Because he might be like, okay, well, what's the variation here? Like, because you're probably going to read the Atari into a connect, drop the stone, into a connect, right? And then you're probably thinking, well, gee gosh, darn, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's probably 1, 2, 3, 4, and like I've got to play things. Yeah, I'm gonna have to play like here and here, and I'm never gonna be able. I'm never gonna be able to do anything, right? Like that's just not gonna be a thing. Understandable. Oh no, it's Black's turn. Okay, sorry, that was confusing me. Yeah, Atari on this stone, connect, connect, connect. There we go. So it's easy to like get confused here because it looks like 4 to 4. White's gonna win that. It really, really looks like it. But we've got the Atari into a connect, and as long as you don't block here, whoops. As long as you don't block here, you're good. Because once you play this one, everything is destroyed. Because now it's 3 to 3, and then they're dead. Right? So I think this life and death problem could definitely trip some people up. Because you might just be like, oh, number. Yeah, it's 4 to 4, his turn, he's gonna Hane. It's gonna be 4 to 3, now I'm gone. And to be fair, if this stone wasn't here, that'd be true. If this stone wasn't here, yeah, that'd be true. Because you'd be Haneing now and they'd push and then you'd be dead, right? But because of this descent, the math doesn't quite work out with just a simple 4 to 4. The throw-in completely does it. So, great read. Great read by Black. Congratulations. And it goes to the corner, yeah. Anyway, I thought this was an amazing game. It was super simple and easy to follow. I don't think at any point there is a move that Black played that people are like, I don't know why he did that. Right? It's a fantastic game. So I love that these two played it. I would actively give this game to players of all skill levels just to study. Well, maybe not pros. So I hope you're able to follow along. I hope you're able to enjoy it. And honestly, I hope you review the VOD or the video on YouTube or whatever in order to refresh your memory on, simple play if you ever find yourself getting overly complicated in your games. Because it can happen. It can happen. Anyway, I've got one more game for you coming up